Snap a 3-day losing streak. This comes after U.S. crude inventories fell for the 4th week in a row. That's according to data from the American Petroleum Institute. So here to discuss commodity moves, we've got Neil Dingman, Truist Securities Managing Director of Energy Research. And thanks so much for being here with us this morning. I want to talk about a very interesting part of your note that you sent over here, specifically about the potential impact of the election, Neil. Talk to me about what your call is for the price of oil and where you see that going if we have either a Democrat or a Republican entering the White House come November.
Sure. Nice to be here. I think at least for the remainder of this year, we see prices remaining around this level, the $80 level. I think what's caused, by the way, the last sell-off is just a little bit abatement of the geopolitical risk. But when you look up in the election, and especially when, again, if let's assume number one, former President Trump would take office in January, if he would win and take office in January, I think you would have immediately much less energy restrictions. I could go on all sorts of types of restrictions, from pipelines to drilling to federal acreage, et cetera. And I think just not only just the fundamentals of that happening, but the sentiment perception of that going on, I think could cause obviously the thought of production going, notably or materially higher, and as a result could cause prices to fall off at least 10%, if not closer to 20%. So I think there's a chance that prices, if former President Trump wins, the prices could go down as low as $70, high 60s, and the reverse. If Kamala Harris is elected and the Democrats stay in office and a lot of energy restrictions are maintained, I think you have an angst that production will potentially even fall from current levels as sustainable fuels are focused. And as a result, I think that could cause prices to go up even over $90 a barrel. So I think there's a big range, somewhere, maybe a $20 or $25 range potentially is that high, depending on who the outcome of the election.
Neil, could it be even higher? I guess I'm curious how, from your conversations, and maybe it's too early at this point, but how industry insiders are thinking about a potential Kamala Harris presidency, just given her record, her track record on energy, some of the rhetoric that she has used. And I think there is a question out there as to whether or not we will see even a ramp up in some of those regulations if she were to win the presidency, even versus what we see under the Biden administration today.
Oh, no doubt. I think there's a question that she could double up on the IRA. There's just a lot of steps that can be taken very quickly. And, again, especially when you look in the U.S. with natural gas, the one thing that's desperately needed with natural gas is, again, pipelines, and I would call it a bit less restrictions so that these pipelines can be added, can be converted. And if we see this go the other way, you're exactly right. I think prices, 90 is probably even low. I think there's a potential, as you pointed out, for even higher if the restrictions even, are jumped. So I think there is a big chance that that you could see prices much different. Maybe not natural gas prices as much, because again, I think the continued LNG AI demand is going to probably continue to push that a bit more. But certainly, oil prices can have a huge variable.
Talk to me about that AI demand, Neil. We're seeing some of the big tech names like Alphabet dinged this morning because of their AI capex. In a couple of years, if they change their tune and decide that they should not be devoting so much money to AI, how much risk does that hold for the energy sector?
Not a ton yet. The build out has been pretty minimum. Kinder Morgan mentioned it on their call last week. I expect Williams companies to announce it on their call. Very few of the EQT, their call starts here in I think about 30 minutes. I'm sure they're going to talk about that a lot. But there's been a lot of talk about it, but there hasn't been any specific build out. And I think there's a bit of a wait and see by my energy companies to decide where the data centers are going to go, what the demand might be once they're going to be built, all those sort of things. So I don't see too much downside yet. But again, I think the upside is going to be just the magnitude and sort of locations of those data centers.
All right, Neil Dingman, always great to get your insight here. Truist Securities Managing Director of Energy.
Yeah, good take on that. Really good take on that. Shout out to Muhammad who's in the chat. Shout out to you, man. He's in the chat. So go ahead.
Shout outs to Ken Dog.
Ken Dog, yes, the father, the father of my of the Chaos Culture Radio. But go ahead, Akeem, man. What's your take about with the oil? How how the election can affect the oils, or who's running, or who could possibly run and actually make the quality changes with oil. Maybe the prices will go down or go up.
Trump. Trump was aggressive with coming with lessening restriction on pipeline. He was for fracking. People who don't know that, that's coal. For coal, he was for fracking. He got us out of a bad energy deal. We talk about this stuff all the time, and gas had went down tremendously. But I am gonna say this to people: is gas is gonna go down, but not the way we think it is. You also got to remember we're at a different stage in a different point in the economy. So I could see it roughly going down maybe $2, but nothing below that. You know what I mean? $2, maybe 195 if Trump gets in office. But if Kamala gets in office, we'll all be in hybrids and electric cars. That's facts. We'll be in. Listen, I'm gonna have to squeeze my big ass in a hybrid. You know what I mean? Because listen, I got a V8, and I damn sure can't afford that. I'm about to get rid of this shit when I come back from the trip.
But let's be honest here. Like when it comes to election time, I learned this from a wise man, Warren Buffett. Actually, he always say pay attention to the stock market. The stock market tell you what exactly what's going on with the economy and how the consumer are spending their money. One thing when Trump or Kamala Harris come to office, a lot of people want to pay attention to natural gas and also
Mm-hmm.
oil.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, I always tell people one of the biggest thing in the United States is the best. Of course, it's not financial advice. Of course, you do your own personal research. Not only that, but speak to a financial advisor. Invest in natural gases, oil, and also energy, because that's the way we're going. Like Hakeem gave a great example of how if Kamala Harris get into office, we all gonna be on hybrid electric cars. If Trump gets into office, we're gonna still use oil and natural gases. And Trump made it clear in one of his rallies that how he's gonna go back and focus more on drilling, 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 drilling. Let's keep drilling. So that what's that gonna mean? A lot of consumers, a lot of investors gonna invest in a lot of drilling companies. That's where the money at. Always pay attention to the stock market. Always pay attention to the S&P 500. But it's gonna show you where can you invest and how can you increase your money in this election season. Right now, guys, there's a lot of money to be made. Pay attention. It's out there. Go ahead, Jordan.
Great point for both of you guys. I definitely agree about what you guys says. You guys are right about oil when it comes to especially with the election. Oil is one of the big things that we see and big things that we use. That's in gas. The whether especially if you're in a big city like I am. Gas is really really high. But I know remember when Trump was in office. He did his best. Try to keep the gas style with try with the best oils and everything. It's gas is very, very, gas was somewhat kind of cheap here, even though, if I go to a gas station, it's called Speed Shops, but it's like $4 a gallon, which is that's just the most cheapest gas I could find. Other than else, there's gas over here that's like $4.50. If you continue to go west towards like West Holly, Beverly Hills, gas is like $5 or anything like that. But yeah, whoever's in office, if it's Kamala Harris, I mean, she's in California, and I personally believe she's going to start pushing, electric cars because this is what Gavin Newsom is trying to do. He's trying to eliminate gas car lots to stop selling gas cars by 2035, I believe, and go electric and everything. So as he doing that, you can kind of see if you live in California, there might be somewhere in other points of cities or outside of the cities that you might see gas might be going a little bit up and a little bit booming and everything. But the thing is like it's been like a strange thing, like with Tesla's. Tesla stock has been going down, and other car stocks have been going up a little bit, especially with I believe GM, also Ford as well. As you can see, those stocks are going up, because as I don't know you guys will be hearing, there's been a lot. When it comes to electric cars, you really can't drive electric cars in cold areas if you live up north and everything, because it's really when the car's frozen, it's kind of hard to open doors because Tesla's handles is kind of weird and everything. So there needs some there. So when it comes to like electric cars, you know, a lot of people is not with it. So a lot of you gonna still leave. A lot of people gonna still drive cars. I'm sorry, gas cars and everything. And I know if Trump is back in office, you know, he's definitely to me. I think he's definitely gonna make the best deal for natural gas and especially for oil and everything. And people and people who do like to drive, you know, gas cars, which I still do. I believe you guys still do as well. You know, you will see gas continue to go down and everything. But yeah, when it comes to oil, you know, and who's in office, you know, if you see Kamala, you don't see electric cars probably. If you see Donald Trump possibly win it, you know, definitely gonna push, you know, try to cap gas down, try to continue to put gas down, and also you see a lot of stocks might go up with, you know, General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, all the other especially I'm naming American cars because that's, you know, American cars, but that's what like people like to drive American cars. I know people like to drive Mercedes and everything like that, but if you drive American cars, that's like they're really cheaper, especially with parts and everything. So with that being stated, with the natural oils and gas, you're just gonna see who's gonna win. Is it gonna be Kamala or it's gonna be Donald Trump? We'll see.
Now that shout out to the lovely Zara B, who's also in the building. Great